to the overview of the Apereo uPortal project, the leading open source enterprise portal framework built by and for higher education institutions, K-12 schools, and research communities. I'm Jim Helwig from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I first became involved with the uPortal project in 2003 as our university started looking for an alternative portal platform. uPortal has a 2-decade history of working to meet the needs of the education community. In 1999, about a dozen universities and commercial partners formed the Java in Administration Special Interest Group to collaboratively develop open-sourced Java applications for higher education. uPortal was the first project they worked on. They collaborated to release the first version of uPortal a year later. From the beginning, it focused on meeting the diverse needs of universities and adopted open standards. In 2001, uPortal 2 was released. This series continued to see releases for the next 7 years with innovative features such as a sophisticated layout management system, a pluggable groups and permission system, a drag-and-drop user interface, and adoption of new Java Portlet standards. In 2008, the first version of the uPortal 3 series was released with additional improvements in the user interface, including a mobile-friendly design and support for internationalization. The project also bundled a suite of standards-compliant portlets, making it easier to deliver value out of the box. The backend code was modernized and saw improvements in tooling and administration. The start of uPortal's second decade saw the development of the uPortal 4 series, with a new responsive design that worked great on all types of devices, multi-tenancy support, and an increase in the number of APIs available for integration and innovation. uPortal 5 was released 3 years ago, and the project has continued to see innovations on the front end and the back end, including implementing web components and improving cloud deployment support. Today, we think of uPortal as an ecosystem with many different pieces that come together to form a powerful platform that schools and universities can use to meet the needs of their users. Over the years, uPortal has been adopted by dozens and dozens of universities. The product is flexible and can be adapted to meet local needs. If a desired capability or feature isn't there, organizations can use the APIs to extend the product. In fact, many universities have indeed gone beyond using uPortal out of the box and have innovated on top of the product.
I'm Benito Gonzalez, uPortal Tech Lead at Unicon. Many things are defined as portals, but what specifically is uPortal and what does it provide? Let's dive a little deeper into uPortal and its ecosystem. First up, uPortal Core. uPortal's mission is collaboration to share solutions and practices for the user experience of navigating the university. Enrolling this mission, uPortal is the project, but the real mission is about the community behind uPortal. This is what makes uPortal strong and allows the project to evolve. As technology evolves, uPortal's implementation will also. We follow a few practices that help us focus on our mission. We leverage infrastructure and other open source projects of quality. This helps development keep momentum. This approach adds up to a great deal of flexibility. We can authenticate from many popular authentication systems such as CAS, SHIB, and LDAP. We can pull in user details from LDAP, Active Directory, most popular databases, and even CAS and SHIB themselves. Groups are usually defined inside of uPortal, but integrations with Grouper, LDAP, and Active Directory are supported in common. By following standards, migration from other portals can sometimes be trivialized. Recently, I worked with a campus that wanted to switch from an old version of another portal to uPortal. They were able to migrate dozens of portlets to uPortal with minor changes. They were able to extract code that was specific to the old platform, replacing it with code that worked with uPortal. And this migration only took a few days. Every campus is different. uPortal supports customizing the user experience at many levels. Adopting a traditional portal look could be as simple as changing default colors and adding a logo to the header. Other approaches are complete front-end revamps, which we will touch on in a few sections. But higher ed also shares some common challenges. Accessibility, user access from multiple devices, and internationalization are common areas where collaboration helps so many adopters. To wrap up the core features, let's talk about the uPortal page regions. While some portals have a rigid page structure, only allowing custom content in the central part of the page, uPortal is very open. The page is broken into 17 regions where content can be placed. This allows quite a bit of flexibility with the built-in layout engine responder. Here's the default uPortal page for the test admin user. Those top 3 items are in the eyebrow region. The next 2 are in different header regions, left header and right header respectively. On to Portlets, the historic content in uPortal. There are 2 Java Portlet specifications we currently support. Here are a few lists of portlets from a few years ago. A majority of these portlets are still in use and maintained. The uPortal community regularly updates several. Here are 6 that are often found in deployments. Notifications Portlet has evolved into a subsystem of notifications with web components now available for the front end. Newsreader Portlet is an RSS atom reader that provides a way to add standard content into a portal. It is often used for campus-wide announcements and a public calendar of events. Announcements Portlet supports the targeting of content that is written in the portal and published to users in particular groups. Calendar and Weather Portlet consume related feeds like iCal and weather APIs. Simple Content Portlet has become our workhorse of late. It allows generic content to be added to uPortal pages. Originally intended for light HTML code or simple text, it is now often used to deliver web components to a page. There are several tools that support uPortal. Expected of a web application is the implementation of administrative tools as part of the app interface. We have several that provide quite a bit of functionality. uPortal has recently migrated to Gradle, but even before we had several command line tasks. Tasks range from importing and exporting definition files to starting and stopping Tomcat. Some of the newer tasks since switching to Gradle include creating Docker images and tar zip files of complete uPortal deployments. There are also several web apps and portlets that support uPortal. For example, we have a resource server app that acts as a CDN in uPortal. By making this distinct, it facilitates implementers to identify what can go into a CDN if they have that in their current existing infrastructure. On we go to APIs. Here is where uPortal stays fresh. Several subsystems have APIs associated with them. While not full-featured, most uPortal APIs allow a lot of functionality. Layout APIs allow completely new front ends, as you'll see shortly. Portlet Registry provides details and attributes about specific content. Groups and permissions, along with the user APIs, provide insight about the user to client JavaScript code. We also support JWT and an implementation of OpenID Connect. This allows implementers to wire up web components and other client code with third-party APIs with trust around the user and a controlled set of attributes and group memberships. This has really kept uPortal viable in our fast-paced IT world. Okay, starting with web components. We really like them. Web components describe front-end code that leverages a few modern standards that support portability and sharing. In the last few years, we have adopted and created a handful of web components in the uPortal ecosystem. Some of these replace existing functionality, like the notification web components. Other web components bring new functionality that is expected in modern web applications. The value for this effort derives from how much faster we can iterate our development, along with having more developers familiar with the technology. Here are 2 of the notification portlets. The notification bell on the left is now a web component. On the right, while adding a modal for displaying priority notices was straightforward, it had not been componentized before web components. It was almost trivial to add this new component to our existing collection. One exciting story is the ESCO collection of web components authored by Julian. Here you see the new Admin Tools tab. It is implemented as the ESCO content grid, pulling in any content that is a member of the Administration Tools group. Here is an interesting web component that is configured to point to a region in a user's layout and render the content inside a carousel. It's such a refreshing take, and this is leveraging the Layout API mentioned earlier. And finally, let's wrap up my section with a look at front ends. In the first section, we looked at the default layout engine and its page regions. That engine still requires XSL, Java, and a lot of server-side tweaking to customize. Some institutions have decided to focus more on modern approaches. Wanting to support their newer developers that are more familiar with JavaScript than Java, some implementers use uPortal for integrating services to serve data to a client-side front end. First up, we have uPortal Home from UW-Madison. They were the first community member to tackle this approach. They created an AngularJS application that sat in front of uPortal. In uPortal Home, content is still managed in the uPortal. Foothill De Anza took things a bit further. They created a React.js application as their front end. uPortal only provides a few services such as user attribute and group management. They use no content from uPortal. As a prototype, carousel web components built into uPortal 5 were used to emulate a Netflix UI. The hero image rotates and can link out to other content. Julian's ESCO web component front end. This is a complete front end that consists of a parent web component built off of a user info web component at the top with a content web component as the bottom half. These are further broken down into more web components. Seem excessive? No. We have leveraged several pieces into many of the latest Portal layouts. Every Portal implementation I've helped since this implementation has used an ESCO web component. And we'll wrap up with uPortal VR. This is a proof of concept playing around with VR. What do you think?
Hello, I'm Julien Grémonval, and as you can hear, I'm French. I'm a uPortal deployer since 2009. It was my first job after my studies, and I'm again deploying it. uPortal was an evidence for the colleges of the Central Valley region, as it was used by several French universities. Now we are managing one uPortal instance for 235 colleges and middle schools, and we continue to integrate more new schools. I will try to talk about the great uPortal community, the organization, and how it's an open community. The uPortal community is really open and offers several ways for people to collaborate and exchange in the uPortal ecosystem. Everybody can attend any event organized at different places and dates around the world. We organize webinars to provide some examples of deployments, give feedback, and exchange information. Also, uPortal Summit events permit deployers, as developers, to get more specific knowledge on the project, technology use, and ways to manage the deployment. All contributors come from several countries around the world, so different peoples are contributing, participating, collaborating from anywhere on all uPortal projects. Anybody is welcome to exchange and participate, even peoples like me who doesn't speak English very well. uPortal is a French community created in 2008 that primarily had a goal to share between all French universities experiences and applications. A part of the name comes from the first and main application shared inside the community, and is the portal. Portail in French, named uPortal. No, it's an association with more than 70 universities, and not only universities, also for K-12 schools. The uPortal Steering Committee serves to foster growth, collaboration, and communication within the uPortal ecosystem projects. The uPortal Steering Committee coordinates communication related to community calls, online hangouts, and conference meetings. The committee has oversight responsibility for project documentation and provides leadership in the development of uPortal marketing materials. The committee coordinates uPortal security-related issues and facilitates resolution. The uPortal Steering Committee assists with the identification and development of resources by people or funding. Committee members liaison with the uPortal developers, the uPortal community of adopters and potential adopters, and the Apereo board. The uPortal Steering Committee is composed by members mainly elected, which are kind of developer representative, community representatives, supporting subscriber representative, and an Apereo board liaison. The uPortal community needs you. The future of the project depends on you. You can provide your feedbacks, collaborate, or do any kind of contribution to make uPortal greater. Join us and contribute. Come on, and we will share some taste meals and drinks. Don't forget, I'm French.
I'm Laura McCord from Rice University. I first joined the uPortal community in 2008 and have deployed uPortal at several universities over my career. We invite you to get involved and join the uPortal community. The best way to keep up to date with the project is to join our discussion list. The lists are welcoming to all as forums for asking questions or sharing updates and new ideas. The community list is more geared towards using and deploying uPortal, while the developer list is more focused on developing or extending the software. The lists are Google groups, and you can find out how to subscribe on the uPortal website. It is now easier than ever to try out uPortal yourself. The uPortal Start project is an integrated suite of command line interface tools that make it easy to set uPortal up and get it running locally. And finally, you can also help support the project through the uPortal Supporting Subscription Program. An organization can choose the level of commitment that is right for them. These funds can be used by the uPortal Steering Committee to support the project. More information is available on the uPortal website. Thanks for watching. We hope you stay engaged as the uPortal project starts its third decade of collaboration in support of education.
Thanks, Wilma. Jim Helwig, you had some questions. Let's take them now. Let me just fix your participation. No longer there.
Yeah, I'm online in case anybody does have any questions.
Someone is asking how many institutions are using uPortal worldwide?
That's a very hard question to actually answer because uPortal is free and open source. We don't really have an effective way to track how many people download it or actually install it. And you can certainly use it without actually letting others in the community know that you are using it. There have been some studies using trying to search for maybe some key files using Google to see if there are, to get a sense of how many institutions out there are using it. It has been in the dozens. At one time, we are pretty sure that we had over 100 institutions using it, but it's a very hard question to answer. We do have hundreds of people that are registered on the user and developer email lists. So that does give us some indication of the size of the community.
Jim, there's a question in the chat from Aurelio asking if there are any specific ways uPortal helped during the early COVID response. Were there specific tools beyond announcements that stood out?
Actually, we are hoping to have a community call on Friday and gather people together to actually discuss and share just that. But there are two ways that that I'm aware of. Certainly are the announcements, and I know, for example, at University of Wisconsin-Madison, we put up a banner announcement that is at the top. It's a banner at the top of the page that everyone sees when they log in, and it directs them to where, the central source where we have COVID information. I think, I don't know if we have, good, Julian, I see that Julian is on the call from France. I don't know if, Julian, if you want to say anything about what you or Christian saw in terms of increased usage of uPortal during the crisis. Because I know anecdotally you had said that uPortal was one of the core systems that actually was able to easily scale up and handle the increased load. But I don't know if Julian or Christian have anything that they wanted to specifically call out.
Julian, you can speak if you unmute.
Yes, sorry. I'm not sure what you mean, sorry.
That's all right. I think it was, it may have been Christian that was talking about that at the one of our uPortal steering committee calls. That
yes, sorry. Okay. In my context, I don't use a such thing, a banner or something like that. I'm using mainly the ESCO contact menu. And after, it's only some organization communication. So it's not like a banner. It's only some advertisement, I would say, after people prefer emails. The community is really younger on my side. After, from some universities, I know that they don't use a lot such banner. After, I don't have a good overview from the French side about this case.
Thanks, Julian.